Good morning. Civil rights activist Benjamin E. Mays said, "The tragedy of life is often not in our failure, but rather in our complacency. Not in our doing too much, but rather in our doing too little. Not in our living above our ability, but rather living below our capacities." Have you ever felt like this? You get to the end of a day and you still have more in the tank, but you're out of time. You have everything to do, but you didn't get it all done. So, what's going on? What's happening? What's holding us back? We certainly don't work to limit ourselves or reduce our abilities. So, what's going on? Well, my land nav instructor in the Army taught me something he called natural lines of drift. In essence, natural lines of drift are where a combination of terrain and vegetation make it easiest to walk. It's more or less the path of least resistance. If you've ever driven past a pasture, you've seen those worn down trails that the animals consistently take. These are their natural lines of drift. Now, these trails for us are tempting. They're downhill. That's easy. It doesn't take any effort. And following a trail means you don't even have to really navigate. You just put one foot in front of the other. But he would say something else. My instructor would say, they rarely get you where you want to go. The world around you and me is pressuring us to stay on the path. They tell us to go with the flow. They're trying to talk us out of getting off the path and having to work hard, or trying to convince us that if we get off the path, hey, the juice isn't really worth the squeeze. And we should just stay on. Yet, I remember what my instructor said. Natural lines of drift rarely get you where you want to go. Instead, you've got to follow your map. But uphill is hard. Pushing through vegetation is hard. You're right. It is hard. It's challenging. It requires intentionality, energy, determination, hard work, and consistency. But it will get you where you want to go. As Mr. May said, the tragedy is not in our failure, but rather in our complacency, in our following the natural lines of drift. So, what can we do about it? How can we get off our natural lines of drift? Well, here are some action steps. Write down your answers in the questions below. What paths are you following just because that's what everyone else is doing? And are those paths actually taking you somewhere? Or are they just kind of wandering, kind of like the animals in a pasture? I look forward to seeing your feedback in the comments below.